Good evening and welcome to the Let's Talk show on Urban Cast. Tonight, we're going to continue our series of discussions with a candidate and a community leader. We're providing an open platform for all candidates and current officials to share their vision and address community concerns. I want to say that again. You know what? We don't have a problem with talking with any candidates that are out there. And if y'all ever have something you want to talk about, let's talk and let's move this city forward. Same as with sitting elected officials and appointed officials and what have you. Anytime you feel you want to talk about what's going on in our community, we ready to talk. Um, we've extended these invitations to candidates throughout, and tonight we have Uncle Willie Chark, who's running for Alexandria City Council District 3, who's here to talk about his campaign and his approach to addressing the real issues and the upcoming election on tomorrow. Thank you, Uncle Willie, for taking the time to be with us at 9:21 on this Monday evening. Man.
It's
It's
still
been a
early.
long day.
It's still early.
Still early. Yep.
Good evening, Central Louisiana. Good evening.
Yep. I think a lot of people know you and all that kind of good stuff. So we're just gonna go ahead and delve right down in here. And Steve, I did put out there, that you'd be okay with answering any questions that anybody might have. You don't have no objection to that. I feel very confident. And I didn't discuss that really with you before I typed it in and put it out there. So I'm putting you out there, man.
Listen, at the end of the day, I'm a people person. So
you're a people person. I hear you.
Whatever questions the community have, I welcome them.
You welcome the questions, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then you'll monitor this post as well. And so just in case they come at a later time, you can go back and answer any questions that they may have and that kind of thing. And Steve, before we get started, I want to go ahead and say, to all of those candidates that are out there that are running for office, for the 8 that decided to say, hey, I'm gonna go over there and get in that black skillet over there at Urban Cast. I don't have a problem with it. I want to definitely say thank you. For those that didn't, you had that opportunity. We are looking. We are very concerned about our community, and again, we are asking the tough question, and we encourage everybody else to ask the tough question, because that's how we move forward, truly, and to do it in such a fashion where people don't feel threatened and different things of that nature. That because the First Amendment say, hey, we should have the freedom of the press, the freedom of speech, and all that kind of good stuff. So we want to stick with that here over here at Urban Cat. So with all of that said, Steve, what inspired you to run for Alexandria City Council, District number 3?
Listen, at the end of the day, I wanted to be the conduit of change. I've seen issues within my district, issues within the city of Alexandria, and I wanted to be a change maker. At the end of the day, I'm a people person, and the citizens of my district were struggling. And I thought, I tried to give input. I attend city council meetings, and I see the disparities as I travel around Alexandria. And why not be a voice for the voiceless? So that's what made me decide to run.
Well, Steve, I say, the one thing that I've learned is that, a lot of people think that a lot of people are voiceless, but what we've been seeing is people been beginning to speak up and speak out on things. Yeah, there are tons of people who don't say things, but they just stand by and listen. That's cool, and that kind of thing. But, I think we need to encourage folk to, get out there and speak their voices and let themselves be heard.
With that being said, Jack, we live in Alexandria, and a lot of people are afraid of the retaliation that takes place when they actually speak out against the status quo. And so that's what I mean when I say the voiceless, those people who are afraid of the retaliation.
Right.
because everybody, everybody's not that bold, and everybody can't handle that pressure.
That's right. That's right. And as you know internally from here, and there ain't no secret there. We come in contact with a lot of stuff and it's real that idea that people are 100% afraid to speak out, and it's okay because we get it. We understand what's going on, and we're not going to attack nobody. If ever we start attacking anybody, then y'all can sit over here and start saying, "Hey, I need to talk to Jack about what's going on."
At the end of the day, you have in order to do something like this, you truly have to put on the whole armor of God,
mm-hmm.
And you really have to think about this before you actually take on an endeavor such as this, because you know that everything's going to come out. But at the end of the day, we have to always remember that we're imperfect people in an imperfect world. And our ultimate goal is to love and to be loved by somebody. And as long as I'm better today than I was yesterday, then I'm in progress.
All right. As you've spoken with the residents here in District 3, Steve, what are the top issues on their mind?
The top issues on the people's mind in District 3, as well as all of Alexandria, because it's bleeding from the south side to the west side, and that's crime. Crime is at an all-time high in the city of Alexandria. We're 248% above the national average. People are concerned about the lack of police officers that's on shift. We do have all zones covered, but at the end of the day, the men and women in uniform, I thank them for their service, but they are working a godly amount of hours, 16 to 18 hours. And it's to the point to where it's kind of unhealthy, and they're dependent upon that overtime. So I think we need to do a couple of things. We need to do a better job of recruiting officers and making sure that we get the word out to all forms of outlets, because what we're doing now is not working. And it's Alexandria, if you look at the demographics, it's no secret that, we're well over 50% African American, but our police department doesn't look like the community that we represent. So we have to do a couple of things. We have to not lower our standards, because we have doctors and lawyers and aerospace engineers and all kinds of individuals that come out of District 3 as well as District number 1 and 2. And they look just like me. They're African American. So we have qualified people in our district. So we need to do a better job of reaching out to people who look like me and you and get them involved in law enforcement. So that's one thing that I would like to see. We also need to address the rate of pay. That's a big issue within the city of Alexandria, because Alexandria Police Department, they're working twice as hard as Pineville Police Department and twice as hard as the Red Peace Parish Sheriff Department.
Yeah, well, and that's been another question, Steve. I know a lot of times we talk about the police and different things of that nature, and them being overworked and underpaid, but you also have within the city.
Let me go ahead and address this before you say it.
All right.
All city employees are underpaid. Some of them have to work multiple jobs, and they rely on that overtime just to make ends meet. So we have to address that. In the city of Alexandria, they're short in all areas of the city of Alexandria. It's not just the Alexandria Police Department. It's all areas.
Yeah. Okay. So this is something that you're not planning to shy away from when those employees that are working, when those first responder employees are saying, hey, we're sitting over here working for less than living wages. What do you I mean, do you say we stay there, or do you say, we try to figure out ways within the city budget and different things of that nature to try to address those issues for those employees?
As far as the city budget is concerned, Jack, it's no secret that, Alexandria is dependent upon the sales of utilities.
Mm.
And we have to say that we're open for businesses. Amazon, for example, there's no reason Amazon should have relocated to Rapid Station near Boyce. I'm happy for Boyce, but at the same time, we need livable paying jobs in the area. It's no reason that we're exporting all our talent out of state. We have COTCC. We have right across the bridge, Christian University. We have LSUA. We have a bunch of universities, but we're not doing what we have to do to attract livable paying jobs in the area. Right. So we have to do a better job. And some of our policies, they supersede state policies. So we have to ask ourselves, are we really wanting businesses to come to Alexandria? And that's one of the things that I plan on championing, making sure that, businesses are able to open up in Alexandria and that we're being competitive. Pineville and Ball, they're booming, busting at the seams. Ball is moving at rapid pace. And they're not dependent upon the utility system like the city of Alexandria.
Right.
So we have to do something different.
Right. So Steve, and for those of you guys who are listening out there in cyber world, feel free, if you have a question to throw at Steve, feel free to throw that question. We'll post it and we'll see if we can answer it.
And I just want the public to know, Steve and Uncle Willie, they are the same person.
And I have a problem with that. I say Steve, he say Uncle Willie. So y'all just
it's tomatoes, it's the same thing.
Oh, okay, all right. Why was it important for you to focus the campaign this season, Steve, on issues, as opposed to what we typically see in Alexandria politics, and that is personal attacks? I know we have been seeing some personal attacks here lately, but on the same token, why was it so important for you to just say, I really want to focus on the issues that are impacting the people around me?
Because at the end of the day, I have to be a voice for the citizens. It's not this election has nothing to do with me as an individual. I'm a product of 2222A East Sycamore. Then when we moved to 2034 11th Street. I've been on my own, Jack, since I was 16 years of age. I could have done anything that I wanted to do. And so along the way, I made some bad decisions, but I thank God for those decisions that I made, because they truly made me the person that I am today. So the reality is, this is not about me. This is making sure that I talk about the issues that the people in my community, they're afraid to walk outside their door. They hear gunshot all hours of the night. We have to talk about the real issues. Restore the utility bill. I sit there and I look at the comments and I read the comments, and people say, if people just paid their bill, it's kind of hard to do when 75% of your paycheck is going to the city of Alexandria every month, and you go from $300 a month on a fixed income. Some people making $1,200 a month on a fixed income. You go from that to paying $700 and $800 in utilities. We have to talk about the real issues that are facing our community. And we have to do a better job of making sure that the citizens have an outlet to express themselves. In the city of Alexandria, we really don't want the citizens' input. We're more of a dictatorship in the city of Alexandria, and I want to change that.
You want to change? All right.
Yes.
But how do you allowing people to just do something as simple as the First Amendment, the ability to speak up and actually listen, and you as a leader actually take that information and turn it into real action where they can begin to feel it. How do you believe addressing these issues can improve the daily life? I mean, it seems simple. The idea that somebody just speaking up and telling you what the hell is going on, how do you feel that that's going to help them in their daily life?
It shouldn't only help them, but it should help us as leaders.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important that we remember who elected us as individuals.
Mm-hmm.
It's the people. We go out here during these 3 months, 4 months, and we ask the people to give us the most powerful commodity that they have, and that's their vote. And we promise to do all these things for them. And then once we get what we want, we just turn our backs on the same people who put us in office. And that's not fair for the citizens. One thing about me, I ran 4 years ago. I didn't win.
Mm-hmm.
But it gave me the opportunity to make sure that I stayed involved and stayed connected with the people. I attend city council meetings on a regular basis. I'm there every 2 weeks. I look at the agenda. I send questions in. Some people ask questions, why don't you just work with the current councilwoman? I've tried. I've sent text messages. We even had a meeting, when she first got elected into office, and I said, what can I do to help you? Because if my neighbor's suffering, I'm suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Because we should be a community, and that's how I look at it. Jack, I travel all over Alexandria, Pineville, different areas. We see a lot of things on a daily basis, but it's truly two different Alexandrias.
Now, hold on a second. You said it's two different Alexandrias. You didn't say it was different over in Pineville. You said it's two different Alexandrias.
It's two different Alexandrias.
Oh, okay.
The south side looked different, completely opposite from the west side.
Mm.
What people don't realize is this thing called the utility system. District number 3, as well as district number 1 and 2, we pay some of the highest utility bills. We talk about it's because the homes are not insulated. Jack, I'll tell anybody, I live in Woodside, Louisiana. My house is 1,982 square feet. My house is 20 years old. And when I built this house, my twins were born. I do all updates to my house. I make sure that it's insulated well. I'm never at home. But how do your utility bill go from $1,700 just a year ago, and my bill this month is only $300 and something dollars? How does that happen? So it's not the fact that all the houses in district number 3 and 1 and 2 are poorly insulated, because mine's not. But it depends on where you stay. It depends on what area of town you live in. That determines the amount of your utility bill. That's my belief. That's what I see to be true.
I have my thoughts on that. We operate that utility system on, because we need those profits to actually operate the city of Alexandria. It's one of the primary revenue sources, stream of revenue that we have coming into the city. So a lot of times when people ask Jack, little dumb Jack, why are your utility bills high? Hell, we need it to run the city because we too damn lazy to get out here and go and turn the city on and let businesses, the taxes from businesses that they're collecting on sales and different things of that nature, actually operate the city like healthy cities like Pineville. Pineville operates mainly off of sales tax and property taxes.
And they're busting at the seams, Jack. They're
And,
about
and,
to
and they are, but they're business friendly, and then jobs are really close to people and all that kind of good stuff. So,
even if you look at their council meetings, Jack, people are able to go up to that podium and they're able to ask any question that they want. And they're not scolded, they're not talked to or belittled. They actually listen to the citizens of their community.
That's right. Yeah, just recent history showed that.
We're not transparent with nothing. We were able to review the budget after it was approved.
Yeah,
we were able to review it no other time. So how is that being transparent with the citizen? That's just me.
All right, I hear you. Many residents feel their concerns have been overlooked by the current leadership, from the mayor to the council. How do you plan to address this sentiment?
Jack, I just attended a neighborhood watch meeting tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about, it's the same residents every time at the neighborhood watch meetings and stuff. And I like to think outside the box. So I plan on addressing the community in a different way. One thing that I've noticed is food brings people together. So once elected, I plan on implementing a whole different way of doing our neighborhood watch meetings. Mm-hmm. I would like to bring every district or every part of our community, whether it's the Woodside group, Samtown group, the Sonia Quarters group. I would like to bring us all together on a quarterly basis and have that fellowship and break bread. Cook a big pot of jambalaya, some red beans and rice, some gumbo, and let's fellowship and talk about the real issues. I think once we buy in and the people know that you're sincere and you truly care about their well-being and their interests, because this has nothing to do with me. I just want to be a servant. I utilize that food truck as a ministry. And that's what I want to do. I want to minister to the people and I want to listen to their concerns. And let's see what we can do to address some of those concerns.
Steve, I just put up a question up there from Miss Rachel Holmes. She says, what are the plans with crime on the streets for a mother who has lost a child at a red light? And,
first of all, Miss Holmes, my prayers go out to you and your family. One thing that I see that we don't have recreational facilities open. The city of Alexandria pay a recreational tax, but yet we have no place for our kids to go after school. We have no after-school tutorial programs that's sponsored by the city of Alexandria. We have no summer camp programs. If we do, please let me know about them, but I don't see them within our community. Parents are working more than one job. We have to think outside the box. We can do intergovernment agreements with the Rapides Parish School Board. We can partner with the Rapides Parish Police Jury. All of these entities, they actually work for us, the whole Alexandria, not just a select few. Mm-hmm. So one of my big things is implementing after-school tutorial programs as well as summer camp programs. And we have to do mentoring programs as well. Crime, we have to address that. And until we get to the root cause and stop sugarcoating, first, it's kind of like AA. You have to first admit we have a problem. And not willing to admit that we have a problem in the city of Alexandria. We know on a daily basis that, police reports don't come out from the administration in a timely fashion. It's a lot of issues that take place within our communities that the average citizen don't know anything about. So we have to be more transparent. We have to talk about, you know, people who lost their lives, such as Miss Holmes' son, at a red light. You know, we have to do a better job.
Trust me, I know. um, okay. Ms. Holmes, if you need any follow up to it, just feel free to.
Yeah, my cell phone number is 318-290-0057. I'll put it in the comments. You know, just talk to me, because we have to address the elephant in the room, and the elephant in the room is crime.
Yeah, it is. It is, and it is the fact that it's these families that are having to deal with the crime after the fact, and it seems like in a lot of cases, you know, we as a community conveniently just begin to forget about it. You know what I mean? And the first thing about that is not talking about it, and that's where, you know, it creates that pendulum that we, you know, that makes it much easier for us to forget about what's actually been happening in the community.
And we need to make sure that we have robust programs in place to help families like Ms. Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so every time we talk about crime, you know, one person who always comes to mind is Cedric Chapman. Cedric Chapman, I used to work with him when I worked for the Rapids Parish School Board. You know, he was outside his house in District Number 3. He was barbecuing. And somebody passed by shooting, and he got struck by a bullet and he died. And his case still isn't solved. You know, how do we have so many cases that's not solved? I'm not saying that Alexandria Police, you know, Mr. Marcus Seawright, he just posted that, you know, if the detective would just call him back. You know, it's plenty of victims out there who's hurt. They're hurting because they want justice.
That's right. Well, you know, from my sources that are giving me information, again, is not, we haven't verified it, but I'm sure that you know, we would probably never get an answer back to it, and you know, and this stance of, you know, you sue me, and then maybe I'll give you the information that I'm requesting that, you know, other municipalities just freely give out. You know, it's just a waste of our time, and it's a distractor and that kind of thing. But on the same token, you know, my heart go out to the Alexandria Police Department, knowing that we're almost 1/3 of our force down, and that kind of thing, and so that's a big concern as well. And, you know, and to the families, you know, the families are sitting back, you know, they're not communicating with me and different things of that nature, but to no fault of their, you know, that's no fault of them. But then when you look over here, we got a real issue with the adequate number of police officers that are on the team anyway. And so we again, we don't address that issue, and not addressing that issue, it leads to this frustration from these families that are having these type of problems, you know. And of course, you know, I guess I don't know, but I don't think the police department have a problem with, you know, telling us, but, you know, I guess the upper leadership has a problem, you know, and it's okay to know we got the problem, because the whole community will step in if we know we got that problem out there. I see too many good things happening on a day-to-day basis, and I know this is about you, and I'm running my mouth right now.
No,
I see the community wanting to help. They just can't help because, you know, our current leadership. You know, it's kind of hard. It's almost kind of like taking cholesterol. But I hope they're listening and say, hey, you know, we are going to begin listening, and we are going to start hearing what you're saying, and we're going to start, you know, being a little bit more transparent with what's going on.
You know, Jack, I was just at church on Sunday, and a 19-year-old, she was talking. She was like, you know, I was getting ready to put my grandmother in the car to go to Walmart. It was about 8 o'clock at
Mm-hmm.
night. And she said gunshots just rang out uh, in the community. And she was like, I don't think that I'm going to go out, you know, tonight. So our young people, they don't feel safe in our community neither.
Mm.
You know, so it's not just the older folks. Uh, and it's not just the west side, but the people on the south side, we don't feel safe neither. At the end of the day, we should be able to leave our house and not be afraid to go to a gas station and pump gas and return back home. You know, I have twin boys that's 20 years of age. You know, thank God, you know, I hate to say it that they don't live here uh, currently, but I would be scared for them to go out. You know, my head would always be on the swivel, you know.
Trust me. All you gotta do is go ask Kate. You know, and I hate this. You know, here's Mr. Bo Mullins. Mr. Bo Mullins said, Alexandria Police Department, Sheriff Department, and State Police need to put a group together to try to get the guns off the off
You
the
know
street.
that's kind of hard to do because we just passed a law and said that, you know, if you're 18, you can carry a firearm. You know, it's kind of hard to take the guns off the street, and a lot of those guns are actually purchased at gun shows here in town. You know, so it's kind of like an oxymoron. How do we say we can buy them, and we have a gun show every quarter, and people able to go buy them, and we want them to take them off the street? You know, I believe in the right to bear arms and stuff like that, but at the same time, our governor passed a law and legislators passed a law to say that we can conceal at the age of 18. But at the end of the day, we can't buy alcohol until we're 21. But we can go raise our right hand and swear in and go overseas and fight for our country. We got some real issues.
Yeah.
And it's not just in Alexandria.
Right. That is a true statement. In what ways do you plan to encourage the community involvement to ensure that residents feel heard? You kind of touched upon it a few minutes ago, but if you could dive into it a little bit more, I greatly appreciate it.
You know, at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I'm a leader that's always attuned to the people, making sure that I make myself accessible, making sure that I listen, and make sure that I speak on behalf of the citizens, not my personal feelings or my personal agendas. At the end of the day, the citizens have the power. I'm a citizen, but once I raise my hand and say, I, Uncle Willie, you know, after tomorrow, because I'm going to speak it into existence, I will be councilman for District Number 3. And I'm ready day one to bring change to the citizens of Alexandria.
How do we hold you accountable, Steve?
You know what, Jack? I want to be as transparent as possible. I do have a 100-day plan. Ask me those questions. Hold me accountable. Tell me if I screw up. Tell me I screwed up.
Oh, you ain't gonna attack them if okay. I'm gonna hold you to that. You know, Urban Cast. That's why some of these candidates won't come to us because we're gonna remember exactly what they said.
I'll tell you if I messed up. But at the end of the day, I truly want the public's input. In my opening, I said I need the citizens of District 3 to be the wind beneath my wings. I want y'all to attend those council meetings. I want to hear from you. I want us to give you an opportunity to speak your mind. You shouldn't have to sign up after every agenda item and we don't address anything that you have. Jack, you look at those agendas. Those agendas are not about that's not the people's agenda. That's the mayor's agenda.
That's right. Just looking at the Rapides Parish School Board, looking at the Rapides Parish Police Jury, looking at the city of Pineville, city of Ball, town of Ball, I should say, and having the opportunity to observe some of their council proceedings, it's clearly. I just left the Rapides Parish Police Jury today, and before everything, if somebody in the room want to step up to the mic and say something, feel free to step up to the mic and say something.
You don't have to fill out this whole list and say, I want to ask a question about. Yeah. Come on now. Right. This is asinine.
Right.
These are public meetings. Allow the public to talk.
Right. If elected, Steve, what are some of the first...
Not if elected, when elected.
Oh, okay. Well, look. Okay.
I just had to get you right.
When elected, let me make sure I get it clear right now. When elected, what are some of the first actions you plan to take for the community, to the council? What's some of the first things that you want to look into?
Recreation needs to be open immediately. We have Dr. Fox in that position. I need a detailed plan, and we need to open recreational facilities ASAP. Mm-hmm. We need to have robust programs in place. We have to make sure that we're transparent. We have to see what's happening is, so let me break this down. I'm gonna get a swig of water before I break this down. If the council don't put legislation in place, the mayor is able to do exactly what he wants to do. Lately, the mayor has been running council meetings. He might say that's the council meeting, but in actuality, it don't look that way from me being out up the public. It's like, no, this is a council meeting. The council need to gain control. They need to say, this is our meeting. They just been rubber stamping stuff for the last 4 years. We can't do that. We need a people's agenda. My mind just went blank. We have a citizen in District Number 3. This citizen house was condemned by the city of Alexandria. This lady comes to the council meetings religiously. Every 2 weeks, she comes on her walker. The city wronged this lady. They tore her house down. But they say in order for her to be whole, she has to sue them. Is that right?
Now, when you have
right.
Yeah.
We have attorneys that they work for us, citizens, you, the public. But she already on a fixed income. But in order for her to be made whole, she has to go get an attorney to sue. Mr. Cornelius asked a question. He was found guilty, but I attended that meeting. I covered him being wrestled down to the floor. He made a comment. He said, "You're going to have to arrest me." And they stuck to that one thing because he was exercising his constitutional rights, freedom of speech. And they arrested him. Said he had to attend an anger management class. Nobody in Alexandria represented him. He received counsel from outside of Alexandria. We have to do a better job. We have to be compassionate to the citizens who put us in office. We work for them. They don't work for us. And sometimes we forget that.
So what message, as we wrap this up, Steve, what message do you have for the voters who may feel disengaged or uncertain about the election process on tomorrow? Specifically, I want to say, address the young people, because, it's really important that they get out there and go exercise their franchise, and that is their right to vote. And typically, young people are a little disheartened. Either you did it or you didn't do it, and it's next as far as they're concerned. Or you didn't do it, it's time to move on. It seems to me, with young folk having that, they can that discernment real quick, and they don't have all of the jadedness built in the back of their mind and different things. It seems like we're purposely not engaging them in this political process. I know a lot of people say, "Hey, they're 18, they can go vote. They know it." But if and just a few minutes ago when you talked about the recreational thing, again, I'm pointing back to information and how they're getting that information. It seems like, if you go listen to what the current what's currently going on at the city, we got tons of recreational programs. It's just people are not going to them. And then when you go talk to the people, they say, "I didn't know nothing about this." So how, I guess again, even with the young people, an election is going on, but they haven't heard it over and over and over like you and I have heard it over and over on it, because we are watching the news, we're looking at online newspapers, we're looking at everything just to make sure we know what's going on. So you can't compare us to them. So how do you,
Jack,
how do we make them feel engaged in this process and make them want to get up tomorrow morning and go vote?
This is the reality. It's not just the young people who not engaged. It's the older people that's not engaged neither. Along the way, they lost trust in leadership. That's the reality. I want to tell the young people, and I want to tell you, the citizens who are on the fence about going vote tomorrow. A lot of people told you promises after promises that I'll do this, I'll take care of you, let me deal with it. But I'm going to say, trust the process. It's some good people out here. I'm not finna say that I'm a perfect person, but I do know my track record. The last 4 years, the last 8 years, I've been in these streets. I've been in these communities, whether it was a storm, whether it was the federal shutdown, whether it was a tornado hit, whether it was flooding. I made myself accessible to all the citizens of Rapides Parish. Right now, I'm focusing on District number 3. And I want the people of District number 3 and everybody underneath the sound of my voice. You are important. Your voice count. Your vote count. It's just all it takes is one vote to win an election. Please exercise your constitutional rights. So many people died for you to have that right. Because somebody wronged you in the past, forgive them. Move on. Yes, it's kind of hard to do. But guess what? Do it anyway. Don't hold those grudges. Change. Be that change agent. If they did something that you didn't like, you have the power to vote them out or to vote them in. It's just that simple. Exercise your constitutional right tomorrow. Go to the polls and vote. Be there bright and early. Polls close tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Do your homework. Make sure that you know who you're voting for. Don't go and vote for somebody who haven't done anything for you, and the only time you see them is every 4 years. Don't go vote for somebody because your friends say that they're a good person. Do the research for yourself and exercise your constitutional right.
So what's that number?
My number is 41. I'm running for City Council District number 3. I want to be the change agent.
All right.
I'm ready to work for you.
All right, Uncle Willie. Thank you, Uncle Willie, for sharing your vision and your commitment to addressing the needs of District number 3. We appreciate your willingness to focus on the real issues and provide our community with transparency. To our audience, remember that your vote is your voice. We've provided a platform over this election season for candidates and current officials to discuss their plans and ideas openly. Some chose to participate while others did not. We encourage you to make informed decisions and stay engaged. Thank you guys for tuning in so late this evening. It's been a very long day. And as always, keep talking, keep asking questions, keep advocating for change you wish to see in your community. And this is your community, just like it is theirs and everybody else. Your one vote do matter. And again, for everybody out there, thank you guys for joining us this evening. For those guys who may watch part of this after the fact, feel free to leave a question. Steve said he's going to be manning it and he'll answer any questions that you guys may have. Pretty much that's it. Steve, if you had anything else to say, you're more than welcome to say it, man.
Listen, tomorrow is election day. Please go to the polls, vote. Vote number 41, Uncle Willie Chark. Vote for change. Vote for somebody who's willing to be the voice for all the citizens of District number 3.
All right. Thank you guys again. Y'all have a great evening. We're out.
Thank you.